This is the Sanur Resort Watujimbar, and this is the view from the room on the second floor that has been allocated to us. And it's 7 o'clock in the morning and it's raining. Anyway. Well, as you can see, it's another perfect Bali day in October of 2025. And I'm sitting in a little gazebo up here. It's a double, there's enough to pool in here. Outside the pool, at the Sanur Resort Watujimbar. There's an old Noel Coward song about mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. Well, this is mad dogs and an Australian wandering out in the midday sun. We're heading up towards the new shopping centre in Sanur. It's the middle of the day, it's just after midday, 20 past 12. And we're going up to this new shopping centre in Bali, Sanur. As you can see, there's a lot of work being done here on the pavements, and it's not before time, but it's going to be absolutely wonderful when they finish it. Now, this is the new shopping centre here in Sanur, the Icon. I better watch out because I'm dodging this footpath, as you can see ahead of me. Holes in the ground. And that's going to be apartments. This was all under construction when we were here a year or two ago, 2 years ago. However, we're now going to go and check out the Icon, Bali. Bali is obviously undergoing a massive rebuild, particularly over here in Sanur. Now we're going to see all the brand names in here. Oh, Marks and Spencer. So the first thing, of course, is we have to do a security check. Oh yeah. Here is the first impressions. It's a shopping mall. Oh, better follow the bus. She's going up. What I'm looking for is the food, which I believe is downstairs, probably down there. Okay, we have seen some little videos of other people put up on YouTube, but this, I believe, is the food court down in the basement. Oh yeah. And because it's after lunch, 12:30, it's probably time to have something to eat. Bibimbap, Hong Tang, Sour Sally, fish snacks, Cocoa Puff. There is a Subway in here, not that I really want Subway. Johnny Rockets. Juro cake. Wow. Look at that. We entered from the Danau Tamblingen, but there's the beach through there. You can actually access this shopping centre through the beach. I'm going to walk down here and then I'm going to turn around. And as Kay just remarked to me, this will put Sanur back on the map, having such a spectacular big shopping centre, which wasn't finished last time I was here. These are the fake boats that are floating on 2 inches of water. One of these. Oh, the inevitable Starbucks. I thought they went broke. So we're down on the level near the car park. This place goes way down, and there's money exchanges. Like we're down in the bowels of the thing, and it goes down even further, but we're going to go back up. But I'll show you. Down there is even more levels, which probably just the car parks. There we over here have a Lego shop over here for the Lego enthusiasts. Up above is a kids zone. Watson's Chemist on the next floor up. There's everybody. The Body Shop, Melissa Club, Skechers. Woo, what a place. I'm doing this for Connor. Have a look at this, mate. Build your own minifigures. It's a Lego shop. You might have one in Brisbane. Lego shops. Ooh-ee. Well, we're up another level. We're actually looking for, you know, some nice eateries. There's plenty of restaurants, but nothing that really appeals to us right at this particular point in time for lunch. You can see up here, Pepper Lunch, Bubba Gump. We went there in Hong Kong when we went to Hong Kong. Wasn't really that impressed. Han and Company, Tom's Sushi. No. I'll wander over here. We can look out on the beach and all the plastic. Well, I just took video from the other side, just over there near the fold and the Gyu Kaku, and I see up the top there is Gangnam Korean Foods, Cold Stone Creamery, and the inevitable Subway, and other sort of eating places right at the very top. But still, I haven't seen anything that really grabs me, and neither has Kay. There's a shop called Dr. Specs, and you can have your glasses available in 30 minutes upon payment. Korea frame, 95,000 rupiah, or is that 9 million? Who knows? Who cares? These are all plastic flowers to last the distance. Down there is where we came in, and we went up that escalator there. So now there's kids station. Eyewear, Prada, Serengeti, Ray-Ban, Ferrari, Bag City and Watson's the Coast. Gee, I hate to be critical, but I am really sort of disappointed with... I thought this would be a little bit more, I don't know. I guess it's just a sign of the world these days with all these so-called big brands attracting people. They do nothing for me. And I wonder how long this place will last. We're having a free show, traditional Balinese dancing. I'm in the pool here at the Sanur Resort Watujimbar, and it's Wednesday morning, the, I don't know, 8th, I think, of October. Anyway, this is what it's like in the pool. Now I'm under the bridge. We are supposedly moving to another room today, which we negotiated, which will have a plunge pool, and I will put that on the video when we have made the move. Anyway, this is the resort, very nice here, very large, and I was talking to one of the management people yesterday, and they said they have upwards of 90% occupancy here, and it's the low season. So it's very, very good for business. Talking about plunge pools, maybe we'll plunge into the water here and I'll test this GoPro Hero 7. Make sure it's still waterproof, otherwise I might lose everything. Still going. So we sort of have a do-nothing day today because we won't be able to get into the new room until about 3 o'clock, and it's only now about 8:30 or 9. Anyway, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, to get a bit of perspective, I'm in the pool, and over there in front of us is where we have breakfast, and there are people still having breakfast over there. Over there, on that side there, will be our new room, number 8076, I believe. And then we have the pool bar. Not the poo bar, the pool bar. And then going right back there into the distance is the actual entrance to the hotel and the reception area. As you can see that it's very, very large, lots of rooms. And very comfortable, very nice. So we can have a walk over here, and you can get an idea of the hotel from this perspective. Over towards the entrance. Here, across to the pool cabana man, which I just stubbed my toe. room. Up these stairs again. And the breakfast room. And these are the plunge pool rooms. And a bit later we'll be going into the one across there. 3 across. Oh, they've still got their pool things there. Oh dear. So I guess you could say that the main feature of this hotel is its swimming pool and area. It really is very, very nice. I'll spin around here in the breakfast room. I might do a little tour a bit later and show you a little bit more of what it's like. And we've changed our sun lounge thing because we're into these ones here where you're actually in the water. Okay, well, after a few hours of waiting, we finally made it to our new room, which is the plunge pool room. First of all, we'll have a look in the bathroom. We've just made it down here, and it's a very similar room. Toilet, shower. I don't think the other one had a bath thing, a hot tub, but we never used it. And outside here, we have the plunge pool. This is the private pool that we can jump into anytime we like, and there's the normal pool just over there. And in behind is the breakfast area and dining area. Well, we just spent the first night in our little new room, which is over there, second ladder on the left, if you like. And now we're going to go back down to the supermarket. So this is a little rabbit warren of a area to get back out of. There's Kay up there in the distance. Oh, it's very nice down here. Very nice. Now going up into the reception area here. I haven't got this thing on the selfie stick. This is the reception, and we'll have a look back at the main body of the hotel. Reception. And there's all the holiday makers. Relax in. This is the actual entrance into the hotel. It's probably about 50 metres into the reception from the street. And as I think I've said before, they're doing an awful lot of work on the pavements down here in Sanur. And whilst it's a real obstacle course right now, it's going to be fantastic once they finish it. Look at the paving here. And the guys just work at night to fix all these. There's the danger though, the big manhole covers, but that's for clearing the drains once it's all finished. These guys must be working overtime here. Maybe they're behind schedule. Okay. Oh, they are working overtime, these guys, laying the tiles. Fantastic. This is the Art Sadhana store in Sanur. This is one of the older ones, and it's probably one of the best because it's got all the local stuff, touristy stuff, but the locals do shop here. And we also have one of the real good supermarkets down here at the back. And then you can go up to the second floor where you've got all sorts of things, shoes and socks and hats and everything else. So this is always a must visit for Kay and I when we come to Sanur. You can even buy some grog if you want to over there. Swastika Bungalows. We were here a couple of times. Very nice too, but we've moved up market. Well, we're back in the Cafe S'mores, our favourite little cafe here in Sanur. We're going to have morning coffee, and I'm having a cake, as if I haven't eaten none. And this is the Cafe S'mores. And here is my coffee, complete with the love heart from the waitress. How nice. So this is living, having the plunge pool. Hey. What could we say about the Sanur Resort Watujimbar right now after my first 4 days here? Well, for a start, this particular room and the idea of these plunge pools is it's pretty good. Having your own little private area where you can just come in and plunge and cool off without all the splatter and splashing and noise of other people. But I think it's a great idea, and I'd imagine it's something similar to when people want to go, say, to the Maldives and have these over water bungalows. I think this is a sort of a similar idea, although it's just a pool that's on the outside of your door. But what a way to go. So it's actually this is probably the best place that I think Kay and I have ever stayed in Sanur. Certainly the most upmarket. The other hotels have had their gardens and their swimming pools, but this is a little bit special, having the big pool area. And you know, the dining room is just, well, it's round here and it's over in that direction there. And then there's the main pool outside. If you really want to go and socialise, then you can. But the benefit for me is that I can jump out of this pool and go and sit up there and do my crossword and go inside and have a drink, get a drink, and not have to worry about anything else. So to me, this is a winner, hands down. Well, I'm making my way down Jalan Pantai Karang towards Sanur Beach. I have done this a number of times. I checked last night when the last times I was in Bali and over here in Sanur was 2019 and 2022, and it's now 2025. So we'll just go down and see what changes, if any, have been done down this area. So this is Sanur Beach. I don't know if you can make it out. Way in the distance is what appears to be a cruise liner, and that is the Lombok Strait across there. It also is the dividing line, I can't remember the name, where the species differ. On this side you have certain species of birds, on the other, across that water, you don't. You have different species. Amazing. Anyway, it's 20 to 9 in the morning and the tide's out, as you can see, and we just have a little walk up the beach. I've probably taken this video at least 3 times in the last few years, but hey, nothing much really changes across along the beaches, as you can see past the post. But I'm currently sitting on this little gazebo underneath the shade, and the tide is out. The water is still filthy dirty, as you can see, but hey, it's Bali. Would you swim in it? I don't think so. Like everywhere on Earth, Bali is suffering from over-tourism. I read recently they are expecting 6.5 million people to visit this little island in the coming year, 2026. And I don't know where this tourism thing is going to head. I just read an article this morning that Japan is instituting a daily accommodation tax which could amount to up to $100 per night, depending on the type of accommodation that you choose. Then I read an article where the airline industry needs to recruit between 660,000 to 700,000 pilots to cater for the number of people, the number of pilots who are either going to retire at the age of 65. There were attempts made to see if they could, the authorities could increase the retirement age to 65, or 67 rather, but that's been knocked on the head by the International Air Transport Authority, or whoever they are. So who knows where this tourism boom around the world is going to end. There just seems to be that many people, and I'm contributing to it, I admit it. But over the last, God, how long have we been coming? Kay and I have been coming to Bali for on and off for 30 years, and we have seen these drastic changes, and it just seems to get busier and busier every time we come here. Anyway, I can't solve it. I mean, I'm contributing to the problem, I suppose, in a way, because I post these videos up to YouTube. And of course, people that watch them have never been to these places. They see them and they decide, oh gee, I want to go there. There's this FOMO, fear of missing out. But we're all contributing to it, and I'm just looking around as I'm making this video, and I just showed you a scene before. I'm watching a bird dive down in amongst all the rubbish on this beach here, and just recently, a week or two before we arrived over here on the 5th of October, there were torrential rains up in the hills behind me, up to the north, and Denpasar suffered massive flooding. I'm sure most of you who actually watched this video will probably recall, it was on the news. A building fell down in the main Denpasar market, and that was due to all the rubbish and stuff just floating down the rivers and clogging up drains. And even the young fellow who brought us from the airport across to Sanur, he lost his motorbike and his car was flooded as well. The car that he actually drove us into the airport in had been flooded. He'd managed to get it repaired, or I think it was probably his company's car. But he had to go and find money to get his motorbike repaired. because of the flooding. And this is all about, you know, mass tourism and everybody sort of clogging up and doing their thing. Anyway, you know, I'm getting to the end of my holidaying period, I guess, and been there, done that, and I make no excuses about the thing. I've seen all these places at their best, and now it's sad to say that they're going downhill fast, and it's all about money. I mean, Bali's changed from a rural village type atmosphere now to commercial. You just saw probably recently on this video the Bali Icon, all the brand names, everything there, and you know, I just don't know. In the end I sort of give up. I think what's the point? Note, just have a look at the bird. This is the one that's diving down looking for food in amongst the rubbish. Good on you, birdie. Come down. I'll see if I can bring him up into telephoto. No, it's not going to do it. Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to make my way over that way where that big crane is. That's probably the icon. Yeah, there's the icon of Bali. And then I'll make my way back down the street, and I might have a little dip in the plunge pool. There's a fellow been fishing. This is outside the Tanjung Sari Hotel, just in front of where I've just walked off that little pagoda. Oh, and it's nice in amongst the trees. Cool. Just a little bit further down where that fellow is the Gria Santrian, and then, oh sorry, this is the Gria Santrian that I'm just about to show you, the Villa Shanti, and this is the Gria Santrian on the beach front. Busaki Beach Hotel.
Mending aku beli yang fisik apa aku beli yang fisik dong? Digital.
The Gazebo Beach, where we stayed last time. I won't go into that. Nothing seems to have changed. This is the site of the old art hotel here, not to be confused with the art hotel which is down the south side of this beach, but apparently they're now redeveloping this for a ground floor beach club restaurant, a hotel with underground parking for 60 vehicles. You can hear the work going on in the background. And this will be their beachfront access. I love it. Over tourism. Exclusive luxury residences. Unique oceanfront apartment complex. 8,000 square metre of premium amenities. This is the new development, or the development next to the Bali Icon shopping centre, which obviously they haven't completed yet. Magnum Residence Sanur. And here is Bali, as you can see. And this is the beachfront entrance to the Bali Icon, the new shopping centre that we went into. And I see some clouds building up. We're expecting rain sometime tomorrow or Sunday, I believe. Anyway. The Bali Icon. How Bali used to be before too. This is a really great exhibition of the turtle conservation. They breed the little turtles here for release. Hello. Little baby turtles, look. God, how old are they? At least these guys will stand a chance once they would get released into the open ocean. Well, I might make my way back to the hotel and have a swim. I will do the thing through the market. For a bit of atmosphere. Down to the main road. Turn left, go to hotel. This is the Sindhu market area. Sindhu Beach Hotel and Resort. Well, I thought I was going to go up that road past the market, but I've just realised I was a little bit too far north. So we're going to make our way back, go down through the Sindhu market to Tamblingen. I might even go through the Bali Icon instead. That's probably the best idea because it's air conditioned. That sign sort of says it all. Read closely. Well, this is probably the most comfortable way to walk back to the hotel, through the shopping centre, which we came through on the second day here. A little bit more food on offer today. However, not going to go any further into the videos with this because it's boring. Brand names everywhere, lackluster sort of food offerings. There we go. One thing I think we did figure out was you can't actually go right through from the beach side to the other side without coming up one floor to get to the exit, which I can see in front of me. Okay. And a lot of people find this is really good, and it's probably great for Sanur because it brings people. People like to shop. I'm sort of all over that now, don't really need to shop. But hey, it's great to bring business for the locals. Probably killing the markets off, but anyway. We're back out onto the street. Oh, look at him. Oh, there's a good idea. Sit in one of those like a rickshaw. Have a rest. I'm not actually going to do that because I've got a bottle of water that I haven't even opened yet. Well, we're at the Sindhu night market and we're sitting here at the Warung Espak Bunga because Kay is getting a juice and I actually have a bintang. But there's a little fellow over there and he's making satay, I think, and we're going to go and have a look in a few minutes. So is this chicken satay?
Chicken satay.
Oh yeah. This is hot work for you people, right?
Yeah.
Very hot work.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some of those as I walk around the market. Satay is first cab off the rank, and then there might be some nasi goreng.
Capcay sama capcay 2. Apakah nasi putih?
Ya, nggak ada nasi.
Oh, dia punya nasi. Nggih.
Lulusan di sana. Tahu ini loh.
Fried onion.
Tuh, kita ngomongin ini. Lulusan ralas lagi. Cuman kayak kali ngumpul tadi mau ini.
Oh yeah, baby. Yum. She's laughing at me taking the video. I love the food.
Kalau ini songo lagi 7 kurang 16. Ini uangnya berapa sih agama ngerti mana? Aku biar kalau anak-anak.
we've eaten and I haven't got any, I don't think that I need to eat any more, so. Satay man has tapered off a bit. And look at all that. Oh, spring rolls, yum yum yum. For the kids. Somebody drags them around on that thing. And then Warung Muslim Banyuwangi. They look nice too. All the food here is fantastic. Yum. This is how you dispense gasoline in Bali for the motorbikes. Pertamini. Well, I'm convinced that this is definitely the best way to enjoy a holiday. If you can be fortunate enough to get the right room, complete with a plunge pool. And this is magnificent because you can hear probably in the background. In fact, I'll turn it up and I'll push the camera over here. This is the other pool over there. That's the dining room through the trees there, and then there's the big pool and there's people walking past. But by far the best thing is this room through there, my cup of coffee, fridge, everything possibly could want. Now I'm sure there's probably a few people thinking, well, how much did it all cost you? And look, from memory, I booked this hotel months and months ago through booking.com, and it was supposedly a good deal, and it was something in the region of 11,900,000 or something in that region, but it worked out to be approximately $890 for 9 nights, and it was allegedly a standard room. The very first room that we had was on the second floor, and when we got here and we spent the first night or so there, I sort of said to KG, it'd be nice if we could have got one of these rooms with a plunge pool, because when I originally booked it, I didn't even notice that that was actually on offer through booking.com. So we went to reception and we saw them there and we said, look, you know, I'd be prepared to pay extra money. We're here for 9 nights. Is there one of these rooms available? And they had a look and they sort of said, oh no, sorry, we're sort of fully booked up. And they had another look and they said, well look, there is one room and it will be free, but it won't be until Wednesday. And I said, well, yeah, that'll be fine. So we said, let's do the deal. And I understood that I would be paying an additional 300,000 rupiah per night, which is about $30 Australian. And the deal that we had with booking.com had said that there was no breakfast included. So the very first morning that we were here, we took ourselves off down to Cafe Smorgas, which we knew about and we had been to before on previous trips. And we had breakfast down there. But when I'd said to this fellow at the reception desk, I said, oh, you know, would the new room include breakfast? I said, because we're not having breakfast in this current one. And he looked at me aghast as if, what? The amount of money you've paid for the room and you don't get breakfast? He said, we'll fix that. So in effect, so we got this room with breakfast, and I understood that it was going to cost me another, as I say, 300,000 rupiah. Anyway, upon further checking with the person at the reception desk a bit later, She said, oh, no, that's all complimentary. So we've landed on our feet here. We get breakfast every morning, and I'm not having to pay any more money for the room. And I checked it again this morning. We're 2 days before we leave, and I did say to the young fella there, I said, look, you know, I was prepared to pay extra money. And he said, no, it's all taken care of, it's all fine. So, hey, you cannot ever ask for a better deal than that. And that's one of the reasons why I think this is a really fantastic hotel. The people are absolutely beautiful. Every one of them has a smile on their face. And I think one of the reasons is because I'm pretty sure it's been bought by Balinese interests, and it's all Balinese who are running the show. And they are so happy, and I think it's a fantastic thing. So anybody who's contemplating coming to Bali, try this one. It may not be to everybody's taste. Some people like to be waited on hand and foot. They like to have the most modern buildings. Well, this is pretty old, but it's serviceable and everything is clean and the food is excellent. So you can't go wrong. You really cannot go wrong at this place. In fact, they could be victims of their own success. Okay, well, it's our second day and we're going to come into the restaurant and we're going to have lunch here. This is where we have breakfast in the morning. We don't have it here, we have it in here. But you can if you wish. Okay, Kay's going to find a nice table somewhere. But this is where breakfast is served in the morning. Very good. It's absolutely chock-a-block full of people and full of food. Great place. There's the boys working in the kitchen in the Tamblingan Cafe. Beautiful, thank you. Yeah, you can do it. This is actually pre-lunch. We always get this nice homemade bread with this little pate. It's like a salmon mousse or something, and it's so tasty. Yummo. And here is our little fellow. He's putting out the eat nines for us. Well, for lunch I ordered a panini, and it looks delicious, a pork panini. And Kay just wanted chips, or wedges, potato wedges. Yum, yum, yum. Food here is really, really good. Oh well, it's the 14th of October 2025, Tuesday, and we're at I Gusti Ngurah Rai Airport in Bali, ready for our departure back to Perth, and then our 5-hour drive back to Albany. Hang on, we're going to go on the move and walkway, because we're old people. We need to rest. We need to take a rest, don't we, baby? Yes, we do. Here we go.